Hello students, welcome back to your literature class. Today in this session, I will be dealing with a new Gulmaha lesson number 11, Winter Oak. Children, really this is an interesting lesson and it is written by a famous Russian writer who is none other than Yuri Nagibin. He used to write novels, magazine articles and short stories. He often wrote about wars, then childhood memories, and even Russian history too. Without further delay, let us move to our lesson. Children, there are two main characters in this lesson. What is the name of our lesson? Winter Oak. Did you ever hear the term oak? You can see the picture of an oak tree in your textbook. Really, it is a large tree that is dominant in North temperate forests. Okay, there are two main characters in the story. First one is Anna Vasilievna. She is a famous teacher at a school in a village of Ivaroka. Another one is Savoshkin and he is the student of this teacher. Okay, now let us move to our first paragraph. Anna Vasilievna's first lesson was in Form 5. Yes. When the story begins, our main character, Anna Vasilievna, was about to take her first class with 5th grade students. Okay. She had just finished college and now taught at the school in the village of Yuroka. After completing her college, joined in a school and that school in the village of Yuroka. Really, she was a gifted teacher, and people in Yuroka and all the nearby settlements thought highly of her. Okay, then really that teacher, this Anna Vasilevna, was a gifted teacher, and people in Yuroka and all the nearby settlement means and the people and other people in nearby villages. They also respected her well. They also had a high opinion about this teacher, Anna Vasilievna. That morning, as the bell sounded, the people rose, greeted her in unison, and took their seat. When the bell rang, all the students entered the class. That time, this Anna Vasilievna entered the class. All of a sudden, all the students got up from their place to greet the teacher in unison. That means all together they have wished the teacher. Maybe good morning, miss. They might have wished good morning, miss, as it is in the morning time. It is the first period. So probably they have wished good morning. Not probably, definitely they have wished good morning. Okay, in unison means all together they have greeted her. After greeting the teacher, they took their seats back. Okay, today we shall go on with parts of speech, she began. At that time, Anna Vasilievna informed that they would start a new lesson, parts of speech, that day. You know that in English there are 8 parts of speech. Which are they? Noun, pronoun, adjective, verb, adverb, preposition, conjunction and interjection. Right? Here, Anna Vasilievna is about to teach parts of speech. She informed the students that first lesson is about parts of speech. A hush fell over the class and the rumbling of a heavy lorry along the highway outside could be easily heard. At that time there was a complete silence, pin drop silence, and the students could hear the sound of a lorry which was passing along the highway. Right? Here, rumbling means a deep, continuous sound of the wheels of the lorry. Yes, rumbling means a deep, continuous sound. Only rumbling of wheels of a lorry which was passed along the highway could be easily heard. In the class, there was a complete silence. Anna was Levana recalled how anxious she had been before this lesson last year, like a schoolgirl before an examination, repeating over and over under her breath. A noun is a word used for naming. A noun is a word used for naming. At that moment, she remembered last year she was very anxious before this lesson. Why? Because she was teaching first time. It was her first teaching experience. At that time, she was repeating the same definition of this noun. You know that which is the first parts of speech? Yes, first one is noun. What is the definition of a noun? A noun is a naming word. And she was repeating that definition again and again like a schoolgirl before an examination. Okay, here this teacher, though she is a teacher, she is compared to a schoolgirl. Right? Why? Because she's very anxious. This is her first experience. So she was very anxious and she has repeated the definition of nouns again and again. Okay. The memory brought a smile to her lips and she began in a smooth, calm tone. This time, see difference. Last year she was very anxious, but this year she is more confident. That is why in a calm, smooth tone. Okay. Just then a voice said, "May I come in?" When she was about to begin her class, suddenly a noise came and asked her, "May I come in?" Who is that? Yes, our next character. What's the name of him? Savoshkin. Yes, Savoshkin. A small figure stood in the half-open door, the face blazing like a beetroot. Okay. A small figure refers to a small boy stood in the half-open door. There was a small boy at the door, and what about his face? His face was red like a beetroot. Late again, Savoshkin, like most young teachers, Anna was Levna liked to be strict. But her question this time was filled with disappointment. Okay. She also a strict teacher like any other teacher, but this time his question was filled with disappointment. Really, she is disappointed with this boy. Late again, Sawashkin. It is a tone of disappointment. Taking her words to be permission to enter, Savashkin rapidly slipped to his seat. Then, after taking the permission of his teacher, he went to his seat. Actually, not taking the permission, she asked one question. Late again, Savashkin. This boy considered that words as a permission to enter to the class. Rapidly, he slipped to his seat. What is the name of this boy? Savoshkin. Okay, turn the next page. Anna Vasilievna was upset by Savoshkin's coming late. It had spoiled a well-begun day. Okay, here, this teacher, Anna Vasilievna, was really upset. And because this boy came late. That is why that well-begun day had spoiled. Spoiled is the V3 form of spoil. Okay. She thought of the geography teacher who had first complained of Sawashkin's tardiness. She complained of the noise of inattentive pupils and the difficulty of handling first lesson. So Anna Vasilevna swapped lessons with her. Why did Anna Vasilevna swap lesson with that geography teacher? What is the meaning of swapped? Exchanged, adjusted the period. Why? Because that geography teacher found it difficult to cope with the noise of inattentive people and also this Zawashkin's lack of punctuality so early in the morning. Okay, so that geography teacher found it difficult to adjust with those inattentive people. At the same time, this Sawashkin's lack of punctuality so early in the morning. So that geography teacher exchanged her period with this Anna Vasilevna. What is the meaning of tardiness? Yes, this habit of coming late. All the teachers are totally upset by this habit of Sawashkin. After all, first lessons were only difficult for those that could not control the class or make lessons interesting. According to Anna Vasilevna, the first lessons were difficult only those that couldn't control the class well and also those who don't know how to make their lessons interesting. According to her, for that types of people, this first lesson could be difficult. But our teacher, this most respected teacher, Anna Vasilevna, is confident that she could control the class by making the lessons interesting. That is why she exchanged her period with this geography teacher. She is quite confident that she can control the class and also she can make the class interesting. That is why she swapped the lessons, the period with that geography teacher. But what happened? Now there was Washkin. Annoyed as she was, she had to continue the lesson. Here, the Sawashkin came late. She was totally in an upset manner, an upset mood. Annoyed means she got angry. Though she was angry, she continued the lesson. Clear? She addressed the class. Now she asked the class the topic was clear or not. Clear, clear. A chorus came back. All the students answered that the topic was very clear. Fine. Make up examples of your own then. Then she informed the students to give their own examples for nouns. It was quiet for a moment and then for some time nobody gave the answer, but after some time there was an uncertain answer. Cat, said a small voice, uncertainly. Okay, that answer also not sure. That is why the person who said the answer in a small uncertain voice. Uncertain means not sure. Right, you are. Anna Vasilevna said. The ice was broken. What's the meaning of this phrase? Yes. Now the silence was broken. All the students were started to give their own examples. Okay. Window, table, house, road. And the students started to give some examples. Correct. And Vasilevna kept repeating. For each correct answer, she kept repeating correct, correct. The class brimmed over with joy. At that time, the students were very happy. She was surprised at how satisfied the school children were from naming familiar objects as though seeing them in a new, unusual light. Okay. Really, she also very happy to see the response of the students as they were telling the names of familiar objects. They named more and more things. But those first few minutes were reserved for the most familiar objects like wheel, tractor, well. Okay, their answers were very familiar objects. And all of a sudden, as it rose from a dream, so Washkin exclaimed in a ringing voice, Winter Oak. But suddenly the Swashkin answered as if he rose from a dream. He answered Winter Oak, which was his answer, Winter Oak. He exclaimed in a ringing voice. What is the meaning of ringing voice? Yes, his voice was clear at the same time loud. The children laughed. Quite, Anava Slevna said, striking the desk with the palm of her hand. Then at that time all the students laughed. Then Anava Slevna told them, keep quiet, and she struck the desk with the palm of her hand to make them silent. Winter Oak, so Washkin repeated, unaware of the enthusiasm in his voice, the children's laughter, and the teacher's outcry. Yes, this boy is repeating the same answer, Winter Oak. Really, he is unaware of the enthusiasm in his voice. That boy is not aware about the enthusiasm in his voice. The other students are laughing. He is unaware of the teacher's outcry too. Teacher's outcry means teacher's disapproval. Teacher told that answer is wrong. That also he is not at all minding. Yes, he is unaware of the enthusiasm of his voice, the children's laughter around him, and the teacher's outcry. The words seemed to come from the bottom of his heart like a dear secret that his soul was powerless to control. Okay, and children, really, it was like a secret that his heart was unable to control. It has come from the bottom of his heart. Really, it was just like a secret. Not understanding his strange excitement, and Vasilevna snapped, why winter? Simply oak? She didn't understand the reason of his excitement. Then this Anna Vasilevna asked, why winter? Simply oak. That is enough. Simply oak is nothing. Winter oak. That's a real noun, the boy replied. See the response of this boy? The boy again repeating the same thing. That is winter oak. Simply the oak is nothing. Winter oak is a real noun. Take your seat, Swashkin. See what comes from coming late. Oak is a noun, but we haven't studied what winter is in this case. Please come to the common room during the long break. Really, after that, teacher Anna Vasilevna told him to take his seat. She thought he had not learned to identify the noun because he had been coming late. She says that oak is a noun. Winter is something related to the adjective. Okay, here you know that oak as a, what is a noun? Noun as a naming word. Oak. Oak is the name of a tree. So, oak is enough. Okay, this winter is something related to adjective. That word winter is used to describe the noun oak. Yeah, please come to then she also instructed her to come and meet her during long break. Here long break means during lunchtime. So Vashkin sat down, smiling at some inner thought. not at all upset by the teacher's threatening words. A difficult boy. Anna Vasilevna thought. What made her think that he was a difficult boy? Because even after teacher's threatening words, he was not at all upset. He sat down, smiling at some inner thought. That time also he was smiling. That is the reason why this teacher told that it is very difficult to manage this boy. He was a strange, really, he is a strange boy. Later, Savashkin went to the common room during the break as instructed by his teacher. As per the instruction of this Anna Vasilevna, Savashkin went to the staff room. Here common room means staff room during the lunch break. Be good and tell me why you are always late, said Anna Vasilevna. Then at that time Anna Vasilevna asked the reason of his late coming. I don't know, he said. I leave the house with an hour to spare. He said that he left the home an hour before school time. How difficult to make a little boy tell the truth, even in the simplest of matters. Here, Anna Vasilevna feels that it is difficult to manage such a boy who always tells lies, even in this simple matter, even in this simplest matter. Lots of children live much farther than Savashkin, but none more than 1 hour's walk from school, thought Anna Vasilevna. Here, this Anna Vasilevna thought that he was telling a lie, as many children far away came to school on time. Okay, there are a lot of children. There are lots of children who live much farther than Savashkin. They all come on time. Why can't this boy? And he also telling that he left home an hour before school time. Aren't you ashamed to tell lie? It's no more than 15 minutes from your school to the highway if you take the straight road and no more than half an hour along that, she said sharply. Anna Vasilevna thought that this boy was telling a lie because it would take hardly 15 minutes from his house to the highway if he takes the straight road. Okay, and no more than half an hour along that. Within half an hour, he will reach the school. But I never took the highway. Just see the reply of this boy. He never took the highway. I cut through the wood, said Sovakshin with a surprised look. He did not take the highway. Instead, he walked through the forest or woods. A sense of grief and displeasure gripped her. At that time, she was in a sad mood, as thinking that this boy is telling a lie, if for a simple matter. She remained silent, hoping that Sovakshin would apologize and confesses that he spent his time playing, but he only stared at her with large, innocent grey eyes. And she wanted him to tell the truth and apologize for telling lie. But this boy only stared at her with large, innocent grey eyes. Terrible, Savashkin. I shall have to see your parents about it. She was totally upset, thinking that this boy was telling a lie. She thinks that this incident should be informed to his parents. And Savashkin thinks that it's a matter of worry or a serious matter. She planned to inform this matter to his parents. At that time, this boy replied that he had no father, he had only mother. Okay, then same time his mother left home very early in the afternoon, and really she is a nurse, and she worked hard as a nurse to bring up her 4 children. Feeling slightly embarrassed, she thought of Washington's mother, a tired nurse with four children to raise and a demanding job. Yes, his mother. Yes, but I only have a mother. Anna was Levna and she leaves for her work at 3. So Washkin said as he smiled. Okay, that time he said that he had only mother, his father is no more, and her mother will leave for work early in the morning. Okay. Feeling slightly embarrassed, she thought of Washkin's mother, a tired nurse with four children to raise and a demanding job. Surely his mother had chaos enough, but Anna Vasilevna just had to see her. At that time, this teacher remembered his mother. She is a nurse and she has four children. Now she is working hard to raise these children. Okay, surely his mother had chaos enough, but Anna Vasilevna wants to meet his mother. Well, then you shall take me home after lessons today, she said. Okay, then she planned to go with this boy to his home. That afternoon, the path along which Washkin took Anna was Lena began at the back of the school grounds. That means the teacher planned to go with this boy, and their journey started at the back of the school ground. Children, remaining part of this lesson will be completed in the next class. Okay, now we can mark some meanings. Okay, all of you take your textbook, page number 113. Unison, speaking together at the same time. Then hush, silence. Next word, blazing. Blazing means very bright. Then tardiness, the quality of being late or slow. Then swapped, exchanged. Next meaning, brimmed over, overflowed. Then roast, awakened. Ringing voice, a voice that is loud and clear. Then outcry, a strong expression of disapproval. To contain, to control or hide. Okay, you have to read these 3 pages well.